Hey y'all, welcome to the Chalant podcast, where we are raw, unfiltered, unhinged, and full of love. Welcome back, wild ones. This is starting to become a thing, it feels like. I am recording at 2:30 in the morning. It is 2:29 a.m. on a Monday. And I know that I said I was going to release things on Mondays, and I'm late. I'm just late. But it's been a really big week in my world. And I had like 6 episodes recorded. I was like, oh, this is going to be the scariest thing I've ever done in my life is releasing these because it's so vulnerable and I'm so ready and everything's going to be great. And then, of course, like a million speed bumps came in. The biggest one being I didn't check with the people that I spoke about in those episodes, like my family. I mean, I changed everyone else's names, but you know, I can't really change my family's names. I have to say like my mom or my brother because that's the relationship is kind of the point. It's like understanding the relationship dynamic. And I realized that I was so making it about me and about this mission and what I have to do that I didn't even really check with them to see what they were comfortable with. And it ended up coming up on a call with my mom, and I was like, wait, like maybe this isn't the best idea. And so that really just threw a wrench in all of my plans, and really, sorry, I have a lozenge in my mouth because I went to the beach yesterday and got super burnt and I'm super dehydrated, so my mouth is really dry. But I think it's just important to go into what I've been working through this week around this podcast and hearing the guidance that I needed to sort of record my life story and put it out there, and then actually recording it, and then recording another episode with Megan where she checks me on all of it and asks me questions and we go deeper into it. And throughout the entire thing, like, I'm exhausted, y'all. This is hard. This is scary. This is the scariest thing I've ever done. And I said to my mom the other day, I just want you to know that I'm not just airing our dirty laundry willy-nilly, like whatever. It doesn't matter. I want you to know that, honestly, like, I don't even want a podcast. That was not my dream. And I'm having a hard time accepting that this really is the right path for me. That it's been so clear to me. The guidance has been so clear from my intuition and from just like everything around me and the feedback. And it's like, I know in my gut that this is the right thing for me to be doing. I know that it can help a lot of people if people catch on and really want to listen. And it's the kind of stuff that I love talking about day in and day out with my best friends anyway. Like, it's so right. Everything about it, so right. But there's also, there's a bug. There's also this big piece of me that has to let go of the way I thought my life was going to look. But even more than that, I'm realizing that this is so beyond vulnerable for me, a person who grew up just hiding, so terrified of rejection. Like, that is my big thing. That's like the root cause of all the problems. There are 2 things, rejection and communication. So here I am communicating and being open about absolutely everything that's going on in my life. And I'm putting it out there for the world to see. And I'm putting it out there for rejection, basically. Not that I think I will be rejected consciously, but that as an actor or if I'm singing, it's always about the craft, right? It's about me being good at something and putting on a show and performing. It's not me. It's not my ideas. It's not how I see the world. I don't have to show anybody who I am because I'm inside of another character. And the idea of doing it this way is like, bigger risk, bigger reward, I think. There's something so beautiful about putting myself out there in this way and getting the love back that just says, we love you for you, rather than we love the performance you put on, or we love how good you are at this thing. It's like the fact that stuff hasn't worked out the way that I wanted it to is actually the biggest gift in the entire world. And I've now mostly gotten to a place where I can see that that's the biggest gift in the world, and that I have so much gratitude for the fact that it didn't work out, because I'm now on this path that I never knew what alignment felt like until right now. I never knew what ease could feel like until I started doing this podcast. And it's like, right, my ego is fighting the shit out of it. I'm having so much resistance. Y'all, I have diarrhea every day right now. Like, I am constantly like in indigestion. There's so much panic. There's so much anxiety coming up. There are so many tears coming up. It's like, this is like the biggest leap I've ever taken in my life, because everything else that I decided I was going to do was safe in some way. And this feels like the least safe thing I could possibly be doing. It's like there are judgments that pop up that say like, you're so stupid. Why would you put your whole heart on the internet? The internet is the scariest place in the world. And it's like my little protection mechanisms are like, this is the dumbest idea you've ever had. Putting all of your shit out there for the whole world to see when you know that everyone on the internet is super mean, like that's crazy. We know that that's just opposition. We know that that's just a little protection mechanism that's trying to keep me safe, when I know that the higher story, it's so clear to me that the higher story is for me to put this out and for me to help people. And if some people want to be mean, so fucking be it, honestly. Like when I think about it, when I'm in that place of being empowered, I'm like, yeah, fucking come for me. Knock yourselves out. I am getting to a place in my life where I love myself so much that whatever you say to me doesn't matter. You can reject me all you want, but I love me, so fuck you. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that I'm in that place of empowerment all the time. Like that definitely doesn't mean that. And what I can see in all of this, and you know what kind of came up as I was talking to my mom about it, and I just said, Mom, I know that this is really vulnerable. Like I said, I don't want to be doing this. My ego doesn't want to be doing this. I know deep down that it's the right thing to do. I know deep down that it's my calling. And so I'm doing it. But I don't want to in that way that like you set out as a child and go like, I'm going to do this thing and it's going to be great. It's like I'm aware that when you really properly get into alignment, your life gets so much better. And I can see the higher story where when I do this, I am way more fulfilled. It's like when you look at the two career paths, in order to be an actor, in order to make stuff, I have to have a director telling me what to do. I have to have a writer telling me what to say, and I have to fit into a box of a character. And there's a beautiful art form to that, and it's not like I'll never act again in my life. I love it so much. But you always have to be fitting inside of the box that is created. And like I said, there's an art to that, to figuring out who this character is. But then you look at, I hate being told what to do. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. And I'm going to sound like an asshole here, but I think most people around me are dumber than me. You know, like that is my ego talking, and I totally know that. But it's like most of the time I'm thinking about how I would do things differently, or how I would do things better. And that's such a thing that I think is so unbecoming. And so like not the way I should be, that I've tried to shut it down in my life instead of seeing it as my superpower and seeing it as this thing that goes, well, then you should just go create something. And so when I look at doing this, I'm like, right, I get to be my own boss. I get to say whatever I want to say. I get to create whatever I want to create. All of it is my idea. Like I get to be free, really. And that's what it really comes down to for me, I think, is I've always looked for freedom. It's like the first time I ever did an energy work session, I told her, I don't remember exactly what the context was, but I had to like embody the feeling of freedom, because I said like that was the thing I long for the most. Always in my life, what I've cared about the most is feeling free. And I said I'm actually like the mermaid on the front of a ship moving through the ocean. And she went, oh, so you always have to be in motion. And I was like, yeah, totally. And I think that's when she said, and I think feeling free is the most important thing to you. And I was like, yeah, I didn't think about it that way before, but it's true. Like everything I do is in order to get free. It's in order to like not be tied down, not be strapped down. I love breaking a rule. I broke my back riding an ATV and going faster and faster because I loved the feeling of the wind in my hair, and I loved the feeling of the freedom of moving like that. Like I'm always looking for more ways to be free. And that is the biggest gift of this. I said to her, to my mom, I said, I know that what I'm doing with this, I don't want to be doing it. I'm terrified. I am absolutely terrified, losing sleep, diarrhea every day. But I know it's right. And I know that if I can be brave enough, and I'm kind of asking you guys to come along on that journey with me and be brave enough yourselves. But if we can be brave enough to put our story out there, it's going to help so many people. And I said, communication has kind of been our thing. We've spent a lot of time misunderstanding each other. And I'm now realizing that so many of our problems are fixed because we understand each other and we've communicated and we've learned how to be open. And so I said, I think doing this podcast is true freedom. It's about being open and honest and vulnerable and sharing my heart. And that is true freedom to me. So here I am, opening my heart and communicating that this week has been bumpy. I've had to really face every dynamic in my family. I've had to face the idea of having really hard conversations with them. And I've had to face the idea of telling them all that I want to do this and having to allow them in a way that I haven't before. Guys, I don't talk about this stuff in public. I don't talk about this stuff to anyone other than like my 3 best friends. And it's the thing that I love talking about more than anything in the world. Healing has become like I love the puzzle of it. I love the coaching of it. I love figuring out what the root cause is of something and then watching it shift. I want everyone to feel free. I am so passionate about simplifying this process and helping everybody be free. Helping everybody express, helping everybody know themselves better and understand themselves more and be able to have deeper relationships and better relationships. And it's the thing that I'm the most obsessed with in the world. And I didn't want to admit that to myself because I was holding on to this dream. I was holding on to this fear of failure and this fear that if I quit, it would make everyone else right in my life that told me I was never going to make it as an actor. Because guys, when you're a kid and you say you want to be an actor, everyone tells you it's not going to work out. Everyone tells you that you're never going to make it. And I was so stuck in proving everybody wrong and hiding myself, my true self, so that I could make this thing come true that I'd set out to do because I'd set out to do it. That's why I wanted it to come true. And admitting that to myself has been hard. Understanding how much I've been hiding, putting this out in the world and saying, hey guys, I'm one of those girls who loves energy and is super psychic and intuitive and talks about the planets and lives my life like, looking at signs from the universe, and even like my relationship with spirit, God, source, whatever you want to call it, are all things I've done in the closet. Like I don't tell my family about this stuff. I don't talk to them about it. My mom and I have gotten to a place where we do, and bless her, I love her so much for getting out of her comfort zone and understanding me and doing her best to accept me as I am. I am so, so grateful for that. And it's my choice to keep that hidden. I've chosen to keep it hidden for fear of rejection. But guys, that means staying in a cage. It means telling myself. I had a really cool read with somebody a couple months ago who basically told me, you have to quit acting. She didn't say it in those words, but she was doing an intuitive read. We were in a class. She was practicing an intuitive read on me. And she basically said, like, your level of self-worth when you're acting is like 2%. Your level of self-worth when you're just being yourself is like not that much higher, but it's higher. I had some work to do, have some work to do. But she said the freedom that you give yourself when you're acting, you're telling your body that you're only allowed to be yourself when you're someone else. You are only, ooh, that makes me so emotional. That I've spent up until now telling myself that I am only going to be loved if I'm myself inside of another character. That I'm only allowed to have my thoughts and feelings when I'm pretending to be somebody else. She said you have to fall in love with your own feelings. You have to fall in love with everything that makes you you. You have to get to know them and you have to love them and nurture them. And this podcast, releasing this and allowing people to really see all of this, I had to accept that first. I have to accept that first. I don't think I'm all the way there, but it's an exercise in being so open and honest and trusting that my love, the amount of self-love and self-worth that I've built is what I need. And if anybody is going to reject me for this, that's okay. They can have all their thoughts and feelings and judgments, and those are theirs. And they're going to have an impact on me. I'm going to feel them, and I'm going to grieve them. And that's okay. I can do that. But what a gift that I've received from the universe, from spirit, that the things I wanted to work out didn't work out, because it is forcing me to love myself as me. And it's forcing me to really sit with and process the idea of showing that to the world. I was just having a conversation with my roommate about all of this. And I said, I have judgments. I have really big judgments about fame for the sake of fame. And that, of course, I'm not doing this to be famous. That's never been the driver for anything I've done. But of course, for it to be successful, I want lots of people to see it, right? I want lots of people to hear it. And success to me is positive change. Like, yeah, of course, I have the human wants. I have human desires and money and validation and all of those things, but I can't do this from that place. If I'm doing it from that place, it's not authentic and it's not going to go anywhere. When I'm doing it from a place of service, when I'm doing it from a place of understanding that this is what I was put on this earth to do, and I want to empower as many people as physically possible, that's the goal. Like, that's life mission, that's purpose, it's service. But that I have this sort of block up that's like, but if I got successful as an artist, if I got successful singing or acting or writing, it's the work that's successful. It's not me. It's the work. It's the art. But if the podcast gets successful and it's just me, then it's kind of fame for the sake of fame. It's like the idea of being famous just for being me, which I can see is so, what a beautiful thing to allow myself. What a beautiful thing to show my subconscious, show my inner child that, yeah, you can totally be loved just for being you. You don't have to hide behind a character. You don't have to hide behind anybody or anything. You will be loved and accepted by the world just for being you. And there's this weird little block up that has judgments and says, like, I don't know. What does it say? Let me tune in for a second. Yeah, it says, like, who do you think you are? It says you're selfish. That people who are famous for the sake of being famous are not respected. That they don't have anything to offer the world, which of course is not the fucking truth. I can truly honestly say I'm offering the world a hell of a lot right now in this lesson. But it's so important, I think, to be able to look at those blocks. To be able to go, okay, that's not real. What is real is your heart. What's real is your essence and what you feel called to put out into the world. What's real is that this is just a thing you're passionate about. And you get to just talk about it. And if it resonates with people, that's incredible. If I can help one person heal, if I can help one person get out of an abusive relationship, if I can help one person love themselves a little bit more, incredible. It's not about the fame. It's not about that bullshit. But I'm seeing and working through all these blocks that tell me I can't do this and tell me I shouldn't be doing this. And I think it's so important to understand the difference between fear and true danger. Like right now, there are fears running that have nothing to do with reality. They have to do with fear of being rejected, fear that, yeah, it's just that. It's just fear of being rejected. I was going to try and elaborate, but I don't think there's anything else to say on that. And that true freedom comes from conquering that fear. True freedom comes from fully expressing myself, because no one can take that away. My best friend Megan, who you guys will hear lots on this podcast, she's the one that's kind of calling me out on my crap. Oh, I just lost my train of thought completely. It's because I was going to say something super smart, or something that I was like really needed to hear right now. She said this is what it was. I was like, man, I am so scared to put this out. Am I really going to tell everybody that like, this is how I lost my virginity, and tell them all of the things that I'm like the most ashamed of in life, and just like rip my heart open? And she was like, yeah, but Alethea, once you've put it out there, nothing can hurt you anymore. You own it. You already did it. You already said it all. So anything anyone could ever say about you is already done. It's gone. And I'm starting to really see and feel this freedom. Like I thought there was only one way to do this. I thought that I desperately needed to give all this context of everyone in my family and everything I've been through and all this sub story. But the coolest thing in the world happened. Like I said, I've been recording. Well, maybe I didn't say this, but I've been recording my life story, and I've been recording other episodes with Meg where she's asking me questions about it and like getting deeper about it. And I've been in this just like absolute terror space of like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to put this out there. I can't believe. But as I was doing it, the coolest thing happened where I couldn't physically talk about my life, my childhood, in the way that I used to. I had so much anger. I was so hurt. I felt like everyone wronged me. And like, listen, I've been through a lot. This is not to diminish what I've been through or what it felt like to experience it at the time. But I have healed so fucking hard that I can't physically see it through that pain anymore. I can't physically be mad at it anymore. I only see where everyone was doing their best, and I only see where there were misunderstandings and how I internalized things, and that if there was more communication, it wouldn't have felt that way. And yeah, I mean, there were a certain few things that were really, really fucking awful that, I don't see them as, I mean, I do. There's forgiveness, and I'm not holding on to that resentment because I see everything as being so perfect and understanding how it brought me to this exact moment. I know that's such a cliche. It's so like cliche manifestation bullshit. But y'all, it's true. Like, I just did the step-by-step process of working through it, of finding the triggers, doing the inner work, doing the energy work, working through the triggers, doing the scary thing, taking the action. And I just did that over and over and over and over and over. And now, I'm getting text messages from my mom that I used to dream of. I'm getting tenderness from that space that I used to dream of. I'm having hard conversations with people that I never could have had before. And wait, I don't think I have to go into all the shit. We don't have to talk about the specifics. They'll come up in stories as I go, and that's okay. I don't mind talking about it. I think it's important to out all of these things and put them out in the open, to destigmatize them and to free myself. It's like my one wish for everyone in this world is to feel loved and free. And I'm learning what I've learned this week through having these hard conversations, and the fear is that this is freedom. This is love. And I'm so happy to be here. I am so grateful that this is my pull, that this is my purpose. I was talking to my roommate earlier tonight about it, and I was like, I was just kind of deep in my shit this weekend around, like, I just wish I was cool. Like, I have a really good friend debuting on Broadway right now, and I'm so excited for them. It's so incredible. And it brought up a lot of feelings of failure for me, where I was like, whoa, they're doing this, and I'm like taking this pivot, and like, why can't my path be that? Why can't I just be cool like everyone else and just fit in? And she was like, it's so funny you say that, because I think since I've met you, you've never really been concerned with being cool. And I was like, I know, that's the point. Like, I wish I was. I wish my life mission, my purpose was like something that people already think is cool. But I keep coming back. Every time I get scared, every time I don't want to share something, or every time I, am experiencing some crazy anxiety symptoms, I just keep coming back to nothing is cool until somebody makes it cool. Always. Something has to become cool. And there always has to be a first person to do it. So what if I'm just that person? I'm not cool. We know this. I'm psychotic most of the time. I'm neurotic. I'm constantly like looking for patterns and healing people and being intuitive and, all these things. I had a conversation with a client as well today about being a woman and how, getting into her feminine and her softness is the way for everything to work for her in life, and how much I fought that. It was the way that I felt like being a woman wasn't cool. Being a woman wasn't something I wanted to be, because it felt so much easier to be a man. It felt like, well, my life would just be better if I was a man. And it's taken me a long time, years, to come into relationship with the idea that being a woman is cool as fuck. That my feminine power is to be connected to the divine and to hold family traditions. I was reading The Archetype of the Queen today to her. It was like, it's to empower the king. And when I first read that, I was like, it's not my fucking job to take care of the king. Like, I'm going to be the one empowered. Like, I'm not going to bow to that. And now I'm like, wow, what a gift. What a gift to be to be so powerful, you can make someone else feel powerful. That's so beautiful to give to somebody. And that the inner workings of my body are incredible. And that being the one to take care of a family and being the glue who holds everybody together. I used to have such judgments about that stuff. And now I love it. Now I'm like, whoa, I wouldn't have it any other way. And this podcast is the same. It's like, there's this big piece of me that thinks my life would be better if I was doing these other things and if these other things were my path. But guess what? We're here to make this shit cool. We're here to simplify this and make it accessible to absolutely everybody to do what I've done. And I can truly say about myself now that what I've done is incredible. When I look at where I came from, when I look at what my attachment system was, and the relationships that I had in my life and how shut down I was and how just traumatized and broken. Like, y'all, a few years ago, I could not leave my house without panicking. I had such bad PTSD, I couldn't look a man in the eye. And here I am on this camera being totally seen, totally open, totally vulnerable. I moved to New York. I've done all these big, scary things. And I have so much love in my life, and it's deep love. And my attachment system has completely changed. And I can't physically see the abuse for what it was anymore because I see the gratitude. I see the love that also existed there. That's freedom. And that's fucking cool. Anyone who thinks it isn't, like, okay, do you. That's okay. But y'all, whatever your pull is cool because it's yours. It's so funny how we can get so much feedback. I've had incredible feedback the last couple of weeks, you guys, and I thank you so much. It is like the most incredible validation and helps me keep going. And the people who have reached out have been so unexpected. And it's so funny how I can have so many people be like, wow, this is changing my life. And thank you so much. And I'm so proud of you. And this is so cool. And I'm still in my bed waking up in the morning being like, God, I wish this was not the thing I had to do. It's not cool. Like, what? What? How many people have to tell me that it's incredible before I can accept myself? And I can accept and love that this is my path. And I was built perfectly for this path. And this path is needed. And I'm the one to fulfill it. And that makes it cool. That's the work, y'all. To get into this place of such complete self-acceptance that I go, wait, I get to make it cool. And I'm going to do that by being not cool at all. We all know this. I am unhinged. I am chalant. I am not a cool girl at all. And I don't want to be. At the end of the day, I don't want to be. I don't want to be like everybody else. My name is Alethea. I don't know other people with that name. Everybody pronounces it wrong. Everybody screws it up. It's like this thing that sort of makes me complicated. That's the belief I used to have about it. But I also have always kind of known that it made me special. It made me different. And everybody is special and different. Doesn't matter what your name is. But that's something to celebrate. That if I'm not seeing this in the mainstream yet, that doesn't mean I shouldn't do it. It means there's a space for it to happen. And when I love myself and accept myself so fucking hard, that's what's going to spread. And that's the goal. I just want to help people love and accept themselves. So all this to say, I fucked up, guys. I'm not putting out the episodes that I thought I was going to put out. I did not meet my Monday deadline. I literally made a post being like, it's going to come out every Monday. And then I did not release it on Monday. And here I am. It is now 3:06 a.m. I got to work tomorrow. It's like, and I checked my intuition. I was like, Alethea, it's 2:00 in the morning. Like, you can't start recording now. That's crazy. I was like, I'll just do it tomorrow. And I just felt this pull that was like, nope, do it now. You're going to do it now. It's like, okay, I'm just following the pull. I don't know what I'm doing. I am running scared right now. This is the scariest, hardest thing I've ever done. And it's also the thing that's the most right. It's also the most natural thing I've ever done in my life. It's like, I couldn't go to bed without recording. That's how I know I'm in the right place. As much as there's fear and resistance, I know this is where I'm meant to be. I know this is what I'm meant to be doing. And I didn't really get to choose that. My gut knew, my intuition knew. Guys, I got the ping to do this like almost 2 years ago. Maybe even 2 whole years ago. And I was like, wow, that's really clear guidance. And I know exactly what I'm supposed to do. And then I proceeded to not do it for 2 years. I toe dipped. I tried to do it with Megan. And then we decided maybe not. And then it wasn't working out and whatever. I've known for 2 years this is where I was meant to be. And I did not listen. And now I'm listening. And dealing with how fucking scary that is. And I just wanted to be honest about that. I'm so excited to be here. I'm like about to get some merch made. I'm about to shoot some stuff, like content, not things. It's like I have so many creative ideas. I'm so excited to start all of this. And that's also coupled with this being the hardest thing I've ever done. So I felt really clear that I needed to be honest about that. And if there's one thing in your life that you know right now, the second I said that, you heard it in your head. You know exactly what it is. Just go do it. Just start. Just try. It took me 2 years to get to this point where I'm even like releasing it. But I started. I just tried. And here we are. And there's going to be fear. There's going to be opposition. You're going to feel like there are 8 million reasons why you can't do it. But you know you can. So take one step today. Feel free to DM me, write in the comments, whatever. I would love to hear the one thing that you did today. Love you, wild ones. Thanks for sticking with me at 3:09 a.m. I'm gonna go to bed now, like the little psycho that I am. Deuces!